Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about two Gibson guitars that I bought from Guitar Center recently. So let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you all had a good Christmas and things are going well and you're looking forward to the new year. I wanted to make this video. I recently did a bunch of kind of guitar sales, a couple online, couple in person. So I wanted to make this. I bought two Gibson guitars from Guitar Center. One I bought online, one I bought in store. This one right here is the first one. I bought this in the store. This is a 2021 Les Paul Classic. The interesting thing about this guitar is Phil McKnight of Know Your Gear, he made a video about a month or so, maybe a little longer ago, where he actually took some guitars into Guitar Center and did like some trading and swapping. I have a video on my channel too where I did that about 6 or 7 months ago in a Guitar Center. Well, Phil McKnight and I happen to live in the same area, the same city. I don't know him, personally or anything. I did go to his store when he had it many years ago. I did visit that store, but I don't know him personally or anything. But when he made that video, I realized that the Guitar Center he went to is near me. I happen to live around where there's two Guitar Centers within a pretty short distance, and then there's another one about 15 miles away. So I decided, I'm like, well, even though in that video he asked them if they could record and I'm sure they know him, I wanted to go in there and do the same thing and see if there was any like bias, like maybe, they gave him a good deal because even though again, he's not a celebrity, they knew it was going to go on YouTube. So I don't know if they gave him any special treatment or anything. And I don't think they did, but I just wanted to try for myself because I'm right near the same Guitar Center. I actually had some guitars to trade. So I figured, why not? I tried selling them on OfferUp and I tried buying stuff on OfferUp and Facebook, but the people on there lately, they're way overestimating what they have. So when I saw his video, and actually, if you watch his video, which I'll also link in the description, if you watch his video, when he goes over to the used section, when he's looking for a guitar to buy, you'll actually see this guitar is in that video, and I'll post a picture of it right now. Now, one thing you will notice is that that guitar has the zebra pickups in it, where this one has the pickup covers. I put these on here after I bought the guitar. I just don't like the way Les Pauls look without covers. That's just me. It's a personal preference. I like the way they look with the covers. So after I bought it, I put the covers on there. But that is the same guitar that is in his video. This is the one. It was hanging on the top. Now, when I went in there, they had it down. But I just wanted to see if they would give me like a good deal and see, what I could get away with. So I took two guitars to Guitar Center, and in his video, he does make a lot of sense. He says, if you're gonna go in for a trade, leave your guitars in your car, go in first and see if they have anything. So that's what I did. I actually looked up online first because you can search their inventory, and I saw they had a red one and a couple other ones, but I really like the red. I don't know. I like red and black guitars. It's just my thing. And I've never had a red Les Paul. So I saw it on there. I went in and I asked to see it. He got it down for me, and I was, playing on it and everything. After I decided that I wanted to try and make a deal, I went up to him and said, hey, I got a couple guitars I'd like to trade in. And the first thing he said to me right off the bat was, hey, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. We're only interested in guitars right now if you're looking at something in the store, because in this particular Guitar Center, the used section was just overflowing. I mean, there was so much used stuff in there. I don't think there was that much when he went there. So probably when he went there, I think it probably had a lot to do with Christmas. People were probably selling their guitars, trying to get extra money to buy other stuff, gifts or whatever. But it was overflowing with used stuff. So I said, well, yeah, actually, I am looking at that red Les Paul over there, so I'd like to trade for that. And he goes, okay, perfect. As long as something's leaving the store, we'll take it in. We'll take gear in. So I went out to the car, I brought it in. I had two guitars I wanted to trade in. I had Fender Stratocaster made in Japan, and I had a Charvel San Dimas guitar made in Mexico that I wanted to trade in. So I tried selling them online, but again, people lowballing the hell out of me, wanting to trade for like, people offering me like 3 Squires, and I'm like, no, I appreciate it, but so I went to Guitar Center and did that, and I brought them in. I wanted to see if they would give me a good price. They did. They gave me, really good prices for them. I believe about 70% of what I expected to get. Again, when you go to Guitar Center or anywhere, you can't expect to get, what it's worth, because they have to make money too. So after that, they not only did they give me a good deal on the guitars I traded in, they just had to verify. The only thing that they had to do was verify, because it was like a different kind of guitar, the Japanese one. They had to like email their Hollywood Guitar Center. I guess that's where all the, the specialists are. So they had to email email that guy the back of the neck, make sure it was like a real Japanese one, which it was. So it came with a case, which I was super impressed by, because if you watch my last video, you'll know that that one didn't even come with a case, that red SG standard that I bought. This one had a case, a hard case, which is right over here. It's a brown hard case, very nice. I mean, it's a very nice case. I was glad when he said it had one. I really like Les Paul Classics. To me, it's like a Les Paul standard with for a little bit less money. I have another Les Paul Classic. In some of my other videos, you've seen it. It's a black one. That's from 2003. This is from 2021, so obviously a lot newer. This one too, I believe, is either weight relieved, it's chambered at some capacity, because it is nowhere near as heavy as the 2003 that I have. I think that one weighs like 11 pounds or something. I mean, it's a beast. This one I only think weighs like 7.5 or 8 pounds, so it's actually really light. It's comparatively, for a Les Paul, easy to stand up with. It doesn't, kill your shoulder here. So after doing that, now I didn't take any videos or anything in the Guitar Center, because I didn't want to. I just wanted to see what they would do for like a normal everyday, purchase. See if I got the same kind of, treatment that Phil McKnight got, which I definitely did. At least as far as I can tell, they were super nice in there. They didn't try to lowball me, and actually they gave me money off this one. And another thing that he said in that video was, there's always room for negotiation for the most part. Well, I had noticed that this guitar had been sitting for over 90 days. And I knew that once guitars in the Guitar Center, usually when they are sitting in there used over 90 days, they take money off. So they gave me like 15% off this guitar, plus like a pack of strings or something like that. So I really appreciated that. I really like this Classic too, because it's got these push-pull pots on it, and it has like a beast mode, which I really like. So just as a kind of an example, you can play like clean tunes or tones. And then with a flick of the switch, it just goes right to full beast mode. I love that. Again, I know you can put that on any guitar, but the fact that it came with it already, pretty cool. The guitar was in excellent shape. I don't think the person who owned it before me played it very much. It had some case candy in there. Beautiful condition, no scratches on it, no chips, no nothing. Again, it still even had some of the plastic on the pickup. So I really dig these Les Paul Classics. I really, really do. No neck issues or anything like that. And one of the reasons I like to buy from Guitar Center when it comes to expensive guitars is just, they have a great return policy. Like, it's hard enough in Guitar Center or anywhere to test a guitar, but you don't know what it's going to be like until you plug it into your stuff, right? It might sound great in the store, you know, you get home and you plug it into your gear and, you know, it's just not jiving. You can't do that with like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, and a lot of mom and pop shops won't let you do that for good reason, and I totally understand that. But when I'm buying a guitar for this much money, I want to make sure that I like it and that it, you know, it fits me and that it sounds good with the stuff that I want to use it for. So I have no complaints on this guitar, you know, so far. I'm really enjoying it. Again, I love these Les Paul Classics. And I love this little switch, you know, it just pulls out. I think what happens is, I think when you pull out the tone switch, it just like basically bypasses everything. And it just goes like full bridge pickup. It even eliminates like the tone knob itself. So it's just straight volume, maxed out to 10 on the bridge. And it just, and then you just push it in and you're back to, which is cool if you're soloing. I mean, I know you can, you know, have pedals that you can click on, and obviously you can mess with your volume and stuff like that. But I just really like the, you know, you're just like playing a nice, you know, and then you do. And then you go right back to. I don't know, just find that. These pickups in here are pretty hot. I mean, I have the volume on like 2.5, and and it's breaking up still. If I just pick lightly though. Just sounds really good. Now I'm going through a Helix with actually I have this guitar, the Helix is actually plugged into a Roland drum amp that I found at Goodwill for like $50 in pretty much brand new condition. I also have back there that speaker, that's a PA. I don't have the volume on that. It's turned off right now, so I only have, you're just hearing what's coming out of the drum amp. It's a 3-channel drum amp, I'm sorry, a 4-channel drum amp. It's got a subwoofer in it, it's really cool. When I saw it at Goodwill, I was like, man, I can't pass that up for $50. Again, brand new condition. So that's what you're hearing. But it sounds, let me go to maybe a heavy metal type tone here. Let's see. More. So this is like a heavy metal tone with the knob pulled out. A lot of chorus. I don't know how well that translates on camera. And then if I put the switch back in, see again, I'm on 2. The pickups. So that's this guitar. Again, 2021 Les Paul Classic. Really like it, and let me know what you guys think of the red color. Again, I'm just a huge fan of red and black guitars, especially of this model. So let's move on to guitar number 2. Right, so guitar number 2 is a 2022 Gibson SG Standard, also from Guitar Center. So this one is different. This one I bought online. Now I'm usually very weary about buying guitars online, any guitars, especially Gibsons. You know, obviously the headstock issue when it's being shipped. And again, buying guitars online, I'm just not a huge fan of, because at least with the Les Paul Classic that I just talked about, at least I was able to like test it out in Guitar Center and see if, you know, how I like the neck and all that stuff. When you're buying one online, and especially with Gibsons, I've played some Gibsons where they look beautiful, and then when you grab them, you start playing, you're just like, oh my god! Like my buddy had an actual brand new 2022 black Les Paul Studio, and it looked, I mean, it was just a beautiful looking guitar. And when I played it, I did not like it at all. So I'm very wary of buying guitars online unless it's from like Guitar Center, Sweetwater, somewhere that has a good, especially that has a good return policy. So again, just like the Les Paul Classic, I first looked online, went on Facebook, offer up, same thing. I had money left over from the trade and the sale that I did from those two guitars, plus some of my own money from other guitars I sold. I wanted a black SG, so now I have a red SG and a black SG. I have a red Les Paul and a black Les Paul. Again, I like black and red guitars. But same exact experience with the Les Paul when it came to offer up in Facebook, people way overestimating what they had. Again, I can see I don't want to call it overcharging or increased value if you have a guitar that's highly sought after. But again, this is a 2022 Black SG Standard. There's nothing inherently special about it where it commands a price of, you know, $2,000. It's not a signature model. It's not a vintage model, you know, anything like that. It's a regular SG Standard, off the shelf, dime a dozen. You know, they're all over the place. But unfortunately, you know, you have that like garage sale syndrome where people think their stuff is worth more than it is. So I had no luck there. I was close to one, but you know, a guy, even it was like a 2019. It was all beat up. It was dinged. You know, had scratches, dents in the back, chips, and he still wanted like $1,300 for it. I'm like, I can't do it. And he wouldn't come down in his price. So I went on Guitar Center online. I saw this one. It was less than $1,000. I actually called. It was in North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is where this came from. So I called them first before I knew, again, I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if I buy from Guitar Center, it gets here. If I don't like it, there's a Guitar Center down the street. I take it back. I'm good to go. So there's really no risk in buying from Guitar Center, in my opinion, at least for that 45 days. So I called them and asked them, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit cheaper than most of them. So is there anything wrong with it? I said, is there any, does it have a neck repair? Is it all scratched up? The one thing I will say about Guitar Center is they're notoriously bad for their photographs. I don't understand why in 2024, about to be 2025, internet's been around for a long time, their website still sucks and their pictures still suck, and they still use Windows 85 in the stores. I don't get that, but whatever. So I called him. The guy was really nice. He actually went over, he put me on hold, he went over and grabbed it. He looked over it. He said, I don't really see anything wrong with it other than a few, scuffs from like on the pick guard, a few scratches like on the headstock, like light scratches, nothing crazy. I said, okay, ship it out. He did the order for me right there over the phone. I paid an extra like $10 to have it 2-dayed because I didn't, with Christmas and everything, I didn't want it to take forever. So they put it in a box. I asked him if it had a case. He said it did not have a case that he could see. So I was wondering how they were going to ship it here. When it finally got here, it came in a Taylor box. So obviously they reused a box. It came in a Taylor box, but to my surprise, when I opened it up, it actually had a Gibson gig bag, one of those leather Gibson cases. Not a hard case, but the gig bag, which I was, pretty impressed with, that they put that in there. And it must have been the original case, or I don't know, but in the pocket, it had a bunch of case candy in it. It even had like the little baby photo that Gibson sends you when it's brand new. It still even had the wrench in there, like the truss rod key tool, which I was like, wow, every used guitar I've ever bought at Gibson, I never get that. Wish it would have had the little multi-tool, but I have plenty of those. So I was pretty impressed that it came with a case. It had the strap that was, when you buy a brand new Gibson, you get the strap, you get the case, you get the baby photo and all that. So all that was in there. So I was pretty impressed with that. The one thing I was nervous of was, the headstock. I've seen so many videos online of Guitar Center shipping stuff, amps, guitars, and especially these. And in a soft case, I was really nervous when I unboxed that guitar. I even like recorded myself opening it just in case. I was so nervous when I unzipped that and like I pulled it open and right to the headstock, and I'm like, please don't be broken. Surprisingly, it wasn't broken, it wasn't cracked, nothing. They packed it extremely well, so I was really impressed with that. But I love this guitar too. It plays amazing. And I did do the little, Angus Young mod here. I switched out the volume knob for a top hat style knob. It is actually much easier to adjust the volume, and I know that's kind of one of the reasons he does it. It's just got a great tone. Like, I mean, this thing just, anytime I pick this up and play it, like it's AC/DC just right away. It's got a great tone. Now, again, I'm going through my Helix. This is a tone that I made, but with this guitar and these pickups, like it's very AC/DC. It's very close to AC/DC, to Angus's tone. And it cleans up. I mean, it just. Like I love the tone of this thing. Like it just sounds great. It really, really does. So that is my experience buying 2 guitars from Guitar Center. Again, in my other video, they never did me wrong, but I just was unimpressed the very first time I bought like a Gibson from them. I was like, man, it really let me down. But everybody deserves a second chance, especially around the holidays. So I'm confident. I don't know if I'd order another Gibson online from Guitar Center. I don't really need another. Well, nobody needs another guitar, but I don't know if I'm kind of doing pretty good in my collection. I have most of the stuff that I want now. The only thing I think that I'm still hunting, but that's going to take a long time, is my birth year and birthday Les Paul. That's kind of the cool thing about Gibsons and the serial numbers. Like you can get it down to the day and the year. So that's kind of what I'm looking for next. Now that one, I don't care what it looks like. It could be sunburst, tobacco, black, white, whatever. It could be an SG, it could be a Les Paul, it could be a ES335. Like I don't care. If I find a Gibson, it's got to be one of those 3. I don't want like the Invaders or any of those other weird ones. But if I find one with my exact birthday and year, that's what I'm looking at now. So I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know your thoughts. Anybody bought anything recently from Guitar Center? I'd love to hear your experience. Again, one is in Arizona and one is in North Carolina. So thumbs up to those guys, because they treated me right both times. So hope you guys have a great New Year. We'll see you soon.